Hello there everyone and welcome to this new series I'm gonna be starting up. It's gonna be called In Hindsight. Um, and basically what I'm gonna do in this series is I'm gonna look back at all the SPL games you played from this game and just kinda commentate over it, like do some in hindsighting. I know that's not a word, but just look in hindsight what could we have done better at certain points, go over some builds, go over some specific playstyles, why we're doing this, why we're doing that. So let's get into it. So here in the start we're kind of roaming around. This is what you want to do. Making sure we don't get caught out. We can't really fight the Gabriel and Scotty. We could poke them with the hammer, but then we need to back out because it's gonna be pretty hard to fight into the Scotty Kipri, which both have a really good level 1 compared to Ram and Fafnir, which excel a bit more with the push. So going to the lane here, what we probably are going to see is that we're gonna try and clear the wave, both of the teams, but at the same time we need to watch out. See, we just have some basic attack trading going off. We probably shouldn't be doing this, looking back, because we take some unnecessary poke and they don't get poked at all because they have different Kepri shields. So I try and get my hammer through the whole wave. However, it does not work because Kepri can block it pretty easily. So we get pretty out cleared. They do the right thing here and go towards a purple buff. Although Prime already took the 2 smalls of red, and they know Prime went to red, so they don't want to commit anymore into this. So we make a decision here to take the purple buff, which I think is fine, because we were gonna get out pushed on that wave anyway, and it's not like they could contest us anyway at the purple buff. So sure, we're gonna lose some health here because we have to tank the wave up, but we do at the same time make sure we're level 2, minimize our losses, make sure we're not too far behind. So they actually go straight to Oreos here, which I don't think we recognize. Oreos is oracles, by the way, that's just what we call them in Obey. You can see the 3 man on it. So red is up right now, their purple is up. And we did call this out here that they were going for the purple buff as well. So that was a pretty good read from us, I'd say. So just pretty chill right now. I skilled my 3 in order to make sure I couldn't get plucked, and if I got plucked from the Kepri I would be able to jump out. So this is pretty silly how we 4-man split this. What probably should have happened is that they should have gone straight to the back camps, which they do. So the only thing it ends up being me Prime and a Traxxas that splits it. You don't want a 4-man split. 2-man splitting is probably the best. You always want to try and see if you can 2-man split unless someone has to back for an item, but you play a bit up here. So let me talk a bit about meditation while we're just clearing the wave. Nothing happening here. This is pretty standard duo lane. Meditation is really good early on. Because you get to heal, like you get a burst heal for both yourself and your hunter, which can completely turn around a fight. You can bait enemies, and overall that health is probably gonna be better than what a shell could have defended you from, like meaning that what a shell would have made sure you didn't take in health. The med just works out better, because if you shell preemptively they might just back off. So they're kind of trying to bait us in a bit. We do read it however and go around. A bit confused, just make sure to jump out there. No need to take the Kepri pull and a lot of burst damage. So we know that they're gonna hit the level 5 on this wave, so therefore we play really far back, as we're not gonna hit level 5 ourselves on this wave, I believe. Yeah. So we're like 1 minion of 5, so there's no way we could fight into that. So I back out, see what items I go for. I tend to go for 2 wards. That's what I do early on. A lot of the time, just get 2 normal wards. No need to invest into sentries this early in the game. Pick up my traveler shoes. No need to sell the mana pot. Like if I didn't use it, it's just a waste of gold because we're not gonna be buying anything right here anyway. So looking back at this game, I should have actually went for the reinforced greaves because they have a lot of CC, like the Emir freeze. If I would have had reinforced boots, it has 20% crowd control reduction, so that would have helped me a lot. So I think right here I actually make the play that people are probably going to talk about. I solo Funballer. So Rudder recognizes that Sunballer haven't backed, so I just go ahead and ult him. And as you can see, I end up hitting the one there, poke him down, take out the first blood. Kepri does not ult Funballer actually, which was pretty weird. I think he could have done that. Maybe he didn't accept the damage. But I get the solo kill. That right there was recognizing Funballer having backed, like he had boots 1 at that time. Like he didn't even have boots. So it was a free kill for me. Called out for the Terror all this way just to make sure. Maybe if Kepri was there like half a second before, he would have reacted with ult, but I don't think he expected the burst damage that came out of my 1, like the last tick on my 1. So it's a pretty good start for us. I'm chilling right now, clearing out the minions. Oracles are really important early on because they have a really good potential to burst down the gold through with Skadi, Kepri, Medusa and Ymir, which all is besides Kepri, which all do a lot of damage to the gold through. Skadi can just tank it with her Doki, Calder, and they can pretty much get it for free. So right now, let's see what I get here. I get my Market Vanguard up. Vanguard is pretty much just a must-have right now. While Maniac unfortunately dies in Riot, I try and rotate over. It's too late though, as Medusa comes and pick up the kill. Now we just need to make sure Twig gets out, and he does. But going back to Vanguard, it's what you want to go for, because it counters Bluestone. It counters Kepri. Like as you can see, his 2 is barely tickling me right now, because I take 5 of it. You take 50 damage off it, I believe, or it's 60 damage. I can't remember if it takes 12 or 10 times the Kepri 2. But it's just so good against Bluestone as well. It almost makes you immune to damage. So it's just a must-have. And the stats certainly aren't bad either. So here I decide to de-ward where we already have a ward, but I know that they have a ward there, so I really just want to go ahead and de-ward their ward to make sure they don't have vision of us going to speed. So as you can see right now, ward-wise, they have quite a few wards. As Twig gets caught out here, I believe he dies. I try and med him to save him. Get an ult. Miss my stun there, which was really poor. I probably should have hit the stun on Cherio. And then just back out, be safe. Now this is a thing a lot of people don't do in Fafnir. They tend to stay in their old form as long as possible. However, I'm gonna go ahead and cancel my ult as soon as I can to get the cooldown running again, so I can transform as soon as possible again. Because I'm not gonna do anything in my dragon form at that time anyway. And I want to have my ult ready for the next fight, which is probably gonna be around the speed buff. I'm not gonna have it ready anyway, but there's no reason to delay myself more by just standing and pretty much just sticking around in the form. Get this ward up here. This ward is really good. When you don't have Oreos, you pretty much just make sure that you see if they go towards the gold fury. So yeah, that's it. So yeah, I need to watch out right here that I don't get pulled. I do get pulled actually. Take some poke, miss my hammer, back out. So I've had 2 pretty poor hammers this games, but poor hammers happens all the time. So it's kind of unfortunate. So I'm just gonna try and use my 2 and Twig over the wall, but it didn't spawn yet. I thought it was spawning and you was standing there punching it. So it spawns now. Go ahead, take out the mid camps. We want to try and see if we can get the left mid camps as well, but they sadly get them. So Oracles is a really big contention point for us right now, as if we can make sure we can spot them out doing gold for a long time, it's really good for us. Like if we can spot out they're doing gold, it just becomes better because we have the better late game here. So I do go ahead and pull the Oreos to make sure that Kepri can't pull them, which ends up securing us the Oreos, because if Kepri would have pulled that, they could have gotten on it faster. But we have the superior clear over Kepri with the Zeus detonate, so they really can't do anything about that. So right here I'm sitting on 1400 gold. I kinda wanna back, but what I actually ended up doing is going for one more wave. As you can see, I probably wanted a sovereignty this game. And the tier 1 cost 1400. I had like 1480, but I want to get a D ward and a ward as well. So you can see my gold goes down, get a D ward, a normal ward. I could afford that, which I couldn't if I have not gone for that wave. So you really need to think about your backs and be as efficient as possible and as fast as possible. The more time you spend in base, the worse it is for yourself and your team as you lose pressure. So we see him go for Go Free as we have Oreos, call out for the Terror ult, which actually gets them off it. We do use Rama snipes though, as we think they can use the red ult as well, so this was really overcommitted right here. So we just need to get out at this point, but we do get caught sadly, and I use my stun again. Just to make sure we get out here. kind of weird interaction on the Xinjiang jump there, but they go ahead and pull the gold fear again, so we have to just fight it this time. So I'm gonna go in, knowing they probably can't kill me right now as I'm too tanky if they just try and blow me up. So just go ahead and ult, create some space between the ADCs and the backline. Go to my backline, make sure we poke everyone out. And this is actually a win for us, because we poked them out really hard. Used the dragon form to split them up so they couldn't get to our backline, and then made sure they couldn't go for the gold fruit, so actually kind of won that 4v5 fight after losing the 5v fight. So yeah. And the whole thing about what are you gonna go? Are you gonna go Sovereignty? Are you gonna go Hardward? Are you gonna go what's it called? Going into Thebes. The thing is, Thebes is probably better. As soon as you get Thebes, it's gonna do better than both Hardward and Sovereignty, but that's a whole other talk, and I could make a video on that because I have the math on it, but it's a harder path to get to Gauntlet of Thebes, as Gauntlet of Thebes pretty much they have really bad tier 1 and tier 2 items, like you only gain health, whereas when you build Hardward 1 and 2 and Sovereignty 1 and 2, you gain physical protection and the equal amount of health as you gain from Thebes 1 and 2, so it's just way worse getting there, but it's gonna be a bit better when you get it, but not that much. But that could be for another video where we go over that. So nothing's really happening right now. Gold is probably gonna be the big next contention points, but everyone's kind of waiting for the cooldowns. As we can see right here, I'm mainly going for the Sovereignty because I'm not too scared of the damage that Ymir and Xing and Kepri can do. I can avoid most of the damage, whereas the ADCs, those are gonna be the one that does the damage to me while I am getting pulled or while I'm frozen. So I want the Sovereignty. Also, I want the Sovereignty out for my team to make sure that we can minimize the ADC's damage as much as possible, as they're also gonna be the damage sources that are gonna be relevant late game. As Ymir is gonna go for a more tanky build. As you can see, Ymir barely has any power right now. I think he has 50 power and like 20 flat reduction, which is really good actually for the whole team, but still no reason to go for it. So Ymir backs out. I think he buys Shell here. He does. I have my Sovereignty now, got another 2 duos, so this is a pretty good time for us to fight, as we have a aura item where the enemy support does not have an aura item. These are the kind of windows you want to look for, so we could possibly bait gold. But the thing is, we are a bit behind, and not really behind, but we don't really want to fight because we know we have the superior late game. So the more we stall this out, the better it becomes from us, because the Guardians kind of tend to fall off late game, especially if you have 3 of them. So they're gonna lack damage later stages into the game, because we're gonna have so many auras and shells and ways to get away with relics to avoid that damage. So the longer this goes, the better, because right now they have a really good fight with the Ymir freezes. So yeah, I'm gonna get caught here, if I remember correctly. I'm gonna get bursted down pretty soon. And this is where I should have bought reinforced. This wasn't a Terror ult for us, this was a Terror ult for right, where Xinjiang just used his ult, so they traded out ults in soul lane. Just making sure I don't get hit by the Kepri too, get my Traveler's passive. And clear out the mid wave. So I think this is where I got picked. If you see this, if I had reinforced grease instead of Traveler's boots, which pretty much haven't done me anything in this match, I probably would have survived this. So this is why you go reinforced right here. You got the freeze. Now I get frozen and I just get blown up by all the ults. If we would have had reinforced grease in that fight, we can see the aftermath of the fight right here. They can't really do anything because Kepri did not ult and they just get zoned out, so there's nothing to do. So that's really bad. But I needed to face check it, but it was still really rough. Do get them off gold though. And Maniac actually gets out. And this is really good because they can't really do gold now, but they're gonna do it anyway, and I guess they can do it. They can't really contest this. So yeah, this was pretty bad for me. But if I had reinforced, I could have gotten my reinforced grease off. I want to see if this hits. I'm sorry. Ah, rip. Alright, so if I would have had reinforced grease, I could have gotten my ult off. Just to make sure that they could not. So I could ult because the freeze wouldn't lasted as long and avoided a lot of damage and gotten out. But here we do a pretty good call for the portal demon, recognize that they all backed and this is pretty much free. Get the portal demon, just minimize losses at this point. This is what you want to do. They got an objective and they overstayed a bit, clearing out their back camps for some reason. And we just capitalized on that and gained a small lead just to minimize losses here. And it's really good for us, just to make sure we get as much gold as possible, because the smaller the gap when we come to around the 20-25 minute mark, the better it is for us, because we will start having superior fights around this time. So I'm gonna opt to go into Gauntlet of Thebes here. Gauntlet of Thebes is really strong right now. The auras, especially for a team, help you out. Good fat chunk of health. Does have some HP 500 as well, which is really good. So yeah, just make sure I get D-wards. Getting a D-ward every time I back. Make sure we can get some vision. That's what we need right now to make sure we win this game. Stay in mid here. Hold the wave for Prime. Just make sure to clear out the wave. So I'm gonna back now. Why you see me backing right here isn't because I can finish anything or something like that. I didn't even place my D-ward, which I maybe should have placed my D-ward. But the main reason I back is so I can get my second relic, the shell, which will probably help me. Again, we do Terror ult, but it's not for anything. It's just to get out in right lane as they trade out the Xingqiang ult with the with the Terror ult again. I think Xingqiang is actually really smart to play against Terra, because if you Xing ult and the Terror ult, it's a win for you every time, because then you don't have the Terror ult, which is the main reason why you pick Terror solo, so you can Terror ult to gain the kills on the other side of the map, because then you can keep the other solo laner there while you're just Terror ulting, so of course you're gonna have a superior fight. So I kinda try to go for this D-ward here, but recognize it's pretty scary, as they push down mid here. And I think now I do the correct thing, as I ult the Ymir freeze, so their main engage is done. Actually missed my one on Capri, I think. Nah, I didn't. I hit it. So what I should have done right here was I should have looked for a free, because we would actually have a really good fight. Medusa does dash it, so we can't really fight this. And we need to disengage. So that's pretty pretty poor. They ended up getting the tower. We almost had a good fight, but this is still 16 minutes in. The later we get, the better the fights become. But you can see we're starting to take even fights right now. Even if it's on a tower, it's still pretty good for us. So not much to say right now. I can back from a Gauntlet of Thebes. It costs 900 gold. I was trying to see if I could steal away Aureos, but I can't really do it when I'm getting face down by Mir. You just know how that went last time. See, they have a D-ward there. Try and see if you can test the mid camps. But again, the Mir, I believe he just is a tiny bit too tanky here. I get frozen, poked a bit. Probably should not have gone in there. There's no way I can steal it anyway. They have way better damage on the Ymir 2 and the Medusa 2 than I have on my 1. That had to misplay together. So just call out, they're going into the right jungle. So Nate knows he's gonna be Shiro on the left. Not much to do right now. Get my Thebes up. As I said, it's a really good item. So we're looking really strong right now. We have 50 physical protection aura and we have 20 magical protection aura plus a shell. You just want to go auras. You don't want to go for like Hided Urchin or Spirit Robe early, which are better for you, but worse for your team. That's why I see soul laners doing that, because they're not really in the fights as much, and the supports are gonna get the aura items anyway. Because it's actually better for yourself, but worse for your team to gain selfish items, like the items on the cloak tree, which are some of the best items in the game. But it's not some of the best items in the game for a team, where Sovereignty and Gauntlet of Thieves and Hardwater are all pretty broken items when it comes to 5v5 fights and the core fights 3v3. It helps you out so much. So yeah, my Gauntlet of Thieves passive pretty much cancels out the Voidstone passive right now as well. I want to point that out, where Voidstone reduces by 20 magical protection in an aura. I have an aura that increases by 20, so that cancels out, and we actually have, so we have 50, just 50 flat physical protection, which does quite a bit against the two ADCs. I don't think they have pen online yet. They do have a Titan's Bane on execution actually, so they have really good pen. But it is the right choice because you can see they are the fed people, so we do want to get some prods up against them. So right here, I'm just really watching out that I'm not gonna make the same mistake twice. Getting frozen by the mirror is gonna be so bad for us and the team. Yes, I will die again because I'm gonna be frozen for 2.25 seconds, which is gonna be really rough. So again, the correct choice would have gone to CCR boots. Go in here, bait. I can face take this as they can't freeze me. They do freeze me, poke me out of it actually. But they can't get a good freeze in, is what I mean. Like, they could not follow up on that. Get walled off for some reason. So right here what we do is we get some return poke on the Capri. Get that shell out, and Prime is actually going really hard. So when I point this play out here, Twig thinks the Scud is gonna get Capri ulted, so he actually misses out on purpose. But he ends up going down because of the play that when it's too smart. Catch in. I ult here to gain immunity frames. Also Twig didn't die yet. I was lying. Missed out the one as I thought they would go in. Met up just to scare them off a bit. And right here we probably should have fought because Skadi could not be here anytime soon. They used the freeze. I think we want to fight this right here. This could have been a really good fight, but we just decided to back out. Get some poke again. Back out. Gonna cancel out my ult again just to make sure I have it up as soon as possible. And now it's pretty much just a fight for us getting them off the Gold Fury. Maniac TPing, making sure they can't really go for it. So overall that was a pretty decent fight. It could have went a lot better, but we do force out some relics, use some relics in return, but you can clearly see we are fighting back better and better as longer the game progresses, and we're around that 21-25 minute mark now where we can actually really start fighting. So nothing much is happening right now, just kind of stalling out. We want to make sure if we have vision on the Gold Fury and on the Portal Demon, and we actually have a D-Ward on the Portal Demon, and we have the Oreos on the Gold Fury, so we have a superior vision right now, you could say. We know what they're gonna do. Plus we know that they can't know if we go for the Portal Demon, although they do have a ward down here. If you look at the map right now, which is actually gonna spot us in on the rotation, so they know we're gonna be around this area, and therefore they would check it. So I'm back now. I'm gonna start up my Spirit Rope here, recognizing that if I can get my Spirit Rope online, they can't kill me if they freeze me. They can't kill me if they pull me, because I get the Spirit Rope passive, which gives 10 flat mitigation and 20 CCR. So I'm gonna get froze for a little, how do you say that? I actually can't speak. Like a little less, I guess. And you're gonna get the mitigation on top of that, which is gonna be way better for you. So recognize they could be on Portal right now. The aggressive pings come out. I'm gonna go and check Gold Fury, as we don't know which objective they're on, but we do see them at Portal Demon. They're still on it right here. Committing really hard. Ymir freeze down. So this is pretty good for us, because Ymir froze. I'm gonna try and seal it from the wall here, which is pretty brave. Just a tiny bit too late. We didn't have a ward on that. Get away from the Medusa ult, immune the Shing channel. This should be a really good fight for us right here. Stun out the Capri. Force his ult early into the fight, which is really good for us. We do blow him up here, which I disagree with. And right here spot out the Skadi in the back. So as you can see, kill her dog almost instantly. And then just turn on the Skadi here, get the kill, which works out really well for us. And I do some taunting here. And we do call for the Fire Giant here, as we know they can't portal in. Actually, as they can portal in, but we can fight them. So we try and look for a fight here, go on the Ymir. Or on the other side, miss my hammer as he ults here. Pretty good play by him. Ymir gets really low, Medusa gets stun locked. Get her Aegis, Nades end up getting the kill. And they're really low. So right now we actually decided to go for fire, which is really risky, but we know when portal drops, so we know that the portal is gonna go off, as it did right there. And there's no way they can contest this plus out secure as Zeus. With the amount of health they would have had, they would have just gotten blown up if they walked into that Zeus ult. So we secure the Fire Giant, and now we're in a really good spot, 2k ahead. And we have so much gold to gain on the whole map. We have 6 towers, a Gold Fury, Trick rotating all to gold 3, make sure they can't get that. Me myself, I'm gonna be able to finish off my spirit rope. I think, did I upgraded my shell as well? No, I didn't upgrade my shell yet. Finish off the spirit rope, so now I can pretty much stand up, play stupid for free. Now hardwood might have been a tiny bit better here, but I just wanted to make sure I can frontline properly for my team. So I think it's actually better for my team if I can frontline than if I couldn't frontline, but we have 20 more magical protection. So right now we're a bit scared that they are gonna split push, so I'm gonna go ahead and push up the mid wave. Just making sure that they are not gonna get any split push off. And you see farm and things on the right side farming that wave. He likes doing that. So right here the pings comes out, which towers do you want to go for? Watch out that we want to be careful. Some good old rank spamming ping here. Be careful, be careful, be careful. So our main objective in this fight is probably to disarm the back line and make sure we can get some stuns in their front line while using our 2 and Ataraxia as best as we can. I think Ataraxia beats just cause 4th, which was a minor misplay because we weren't around. Maniac pushing left, me pushing mid, but we're gonna go ahead and get the mid tower as we have minions here and we can pretty much get free. Just make sure I use my 2 and 8 Ataraxia and get a ward up, make sure we can get flanked. And the goal right here is to get stunned and then poke. But we sent Twig over for split pushing right here, which the idea behind this is that Twig can ult in so we can rotate faster than anyone. So we're just gonna stall mate it for the time right now. Twig got a tower, it's a win for us. We have got 3,000 gold free of this push this far, and we're sieging the tier 2, which works out pretty well for us. Does force the Xing Chang over, and we're gonna take the fight here. Miss out the opening hammer, which is pretty bad, but we terrored in and pretty much just have to leave the tower. Use my 2 and Attraction, spin around. Ult here to create room behind my backline as I knew the Xing Chang was coming in. So they couldn't follow up on that Xing ult because they would be walking into the Fafnir ult, and most people don't want to walk into a Fafnir ult. So we get the tower, play back a bit. I'm not gonna cancel my ult here, so now I can get my 2 off a couple of times more as we go for the right tower. The reason why we don't go for the left tower, you know the left tower is the better tower. There's 2 reasons. The first reason is that we had minions, and the second reason is that as this fight breaks down, pretty poor, it's a good fight. I'm gonna cancel my ult, making sure I can't get CC'd. Stun out the Xing and then just run. The correct call here probably would have been to not push that tower as it's actually didn't have beats. But we do get a bit greedy for it. Nothing too bad happens. Look for the Xing Chang here, they get pretty low. Zeus gets walled off. I'm just making sure they can't go in between here. That's why I'm playing so far out. Making sure that we stay safe out on the right. So they do get a tower for it, but they get pushed out. And the other reason why the right tower is better is because if we have this right tower, whoops. If you take down the right tower, it just opens up for us to push left. Whereas if the right tower would be up and we took the tower over here, then we should have probably gotten the tier 2 on right first. So it just makes it more flowy from the push. And we know they're gonna go portal demon here, and we're actually gonna contest it, force them off it. They know they can't fight, so they back out. Use the rattle, pretty good here. So I have 2.2k gold right now, but I can't really back. I really want to back, and I can back now, but I couldn't back for that whole sequence as I wanted to make sure we didn't lose anything else. So this is pretty interesting actually. I'm gonna go ahead and get the Jade Emperor's helmet, crown helmet thingy, instead of to go for the Vanguard. It's pretty much just that the fed people on their team are the 2 ADCs. They're the one with the gold, they're the one with the items as you can see, and reducing their power even more. So now I have reduced power for 30. I'm reducing their power by 30, and I'm also giving my team auras for 50, plus I have a shell upgraded. Yeah, I upgraded at this point, I believe. Which just makes sure that they can't really get off that damage while they're on me. So we're gonna bait around the gold field here. Portal King, sorry. They know they can't fight this. The wall goes down because it's an objective, and we get the portal. So this is really good. Getting the portal means that you can get ward control so easily, because you can just back and ward, back and ward, back and ward, and back and get item power spikes. So as you can see, Ataraxia has full build right now, so the main focus in for my fights is gonna be zoning out, making sure I can create space if Xingqiang comes in behind, get a good ult to create space like I did that last fight in the middle lane, just to make sure they can't follow up on any initiation. Barely making sure that his Magi's doesn't get popped. Looking for stuns here, looking for some poke. Use my 2. So I ult here again, creating space for the Xing ult, making sure they don't go in too deep. 2ing at Ataraxia, then just going deep. Get stunned facing the other way, that was pretty fun. Again, just peeling out for Ataraxia, using my mids there, we double midded. Stun out, being around him all the time. I was considering jumping over the tower for the Scotty here, but I figured that would be a bit too aggressive, and we just go for the safe call. I'm calling my Fafnir ult form is gonna run out, so I just wanted to, before the ult form runs out, get all my damage out of the ult form, immune the knockup, and pretty much just get the gold fury. Fire dance, sorry. Works out really well for us. I am sitting on around 800 gold right now, calling that we can push the right tower as we still have elite. They could have gone for gold fury here, but they don't, so I believe we call for 5 men back to get the gold fury and push left. So again, get the right tower means that it's free to push left, which is the lane you want to push. So you don't just have a lonely right tower standing and making the Titan a tiny bit stronger, plus it's free gold, so why not? I actually don't sell my Vanguard here. I opt to go for the Frenzy. Actually, I didn't have upgraded shell for the last fight. I just upgraded my shell and I got a Frenzy. Frenzy is really strong. Just pop it, making sure that they can't fight, and if they do fight, if you have Frenzy on the Zeus and the Rama as well, it's gonna be so good for you, because they pretty much just can't do anything about it. So just take out the Gold Fury pretty easily, making sure we can get all the gold as possible. We have a lot of time in the Fire Giant, there's no need to rush it. Probably still have about 3 minutes on FD right now. So we're just taking our time knowing that this is probably gonna be the last push. Getting these relics works out really well for you. See if any other people got relics. Not really actually, we got a power pot here, power pot on Ataraxia I think as well. And yeah, so we're just gonna push down this lane right here. They're gonna give it up, and again, my job is as always, use my 2 on Ataraxia, peel out for the back line, as we do have our initiation on on Terra, and Twig on Red, and the Maniac Terra. So I wanna hit stuns and peel for my back line. Hit the stun. Sadly we're not really ready for that, but we do know that the Emir wall is down right now, so we're actually gonna go in here, gonna go really aggressive. That's his 3 stun. I'm not gonna ult there, I'm not gonna take the bait, I'm just gonna heal up a bit. I knew that that was probably gonna be a bait, so I'm not gonna go ahead and ult off that. Because they could have just hard reset the fight, which would have been bad for us. But we do spread them out quite a bit there with the Zeus too. Twig's been pushing in mid again, so I'm gonna look for the stun him here, pop the Frenzy. A bit carefully, ult here again to create room. As you can see, the Xingqiang ults every single fight. What I'm doing is I'm ulting in between the Xing as I stun the Capri. I'm gonna try and burst down the Scotty dog here, but actually jump the Capri, stun lock him so we get the kill. I should turn around and kill the dog. I did not do that. Calls to group up for my 2. This is really risky right here, but I do turn around here, looking them straight in the face, making sure we can't get frozen. Rama snipe, stun out the Xingqiang. Xing barely survives, go on the Scotty. Get the kill. And I think, yeah, we just end the game now. So big point of winning all the late game team fights is, as you can see, every single fight Xingqiang came in from behind and tried to hold our backline, but me ulting between his ult and their team, make sure we get the space so they can't follow up on it, which worked out so well for us in all the fights. So we could just pick out the front line, and the late game worked. So we went really late and it actually works out for us. So yeah. See if we can get into the past game screen here. So as you can see, let's look here. 100% kill participation. So proud of that. It's actually really good to have that. But I guess it's a slow game. 13 watts, not too bad. It's like should have had a bit more. Nothing else to say really. So yeah, that's gonna be my first episode of In Hindsight. At least in Hindsight version, where I look at my own gameplay instead of the team's gameplay. So if you'd like to see more like this, just give me a like or something and hit me up with the suggestions, like criticism, constructive criticism if you have anything. And make sure to like the video, follow me on Twitter, and subscribe on YouTube. And thank you so much for watching. Bye.